Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Monday afternoon, January 25th, and we are looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And if you learned one lesson from today, and I mean only one, it shows you how vicious short-term traders can be when they decide to liquidate and jump in on the short side, as that's exactly what transpired this morning in C period after not getting much distance above the day's high. We took out Friday's high. They got to the top of a 3-day balance. I'm in 8-tick increments here in SPY. Now, I missed a lot of this move as my granddaughter and daughter were leaving, and that's more important to me than anything else. So I was not here when this happened. I got back and had to get my head together to see what I wanted to do. But this was a pure case of longs not getting much in A, B, and the beginning of C to take out the day's low, start flushing, and then once we got below Friday's low and started getting anywhere near the 3-day balance low, that's where acceleration took place and shorts jumped in. And boy, did they accelerate. At the time, we had done 30% of the day's volume. When I was looking, I think it was on HI, it's like, well, what's the percentage of the volume we did here? We did 12 million shares in D period. That's acceleration, my friends. It wiped out a lot of reference points, only to get cut off, have a huge buy tail. Somebody said, is this long-term buying that came in? Very good chance it was. Long-term buy, these aren't long-term buyers up here. They're not going to nickel and dime you and stop before the all-time high. But when you get a flush like this and then a retracement as quick as we did, I think it's absolutely a combination of shorts, realizing they're wrong, but also long-term plays getting in at pretty good risk-reward where they want to enter above the previous week's low to keep the one-time framing up. Because after that, all we did was one-time frame up, fill the single prints. We get a nice afternoon pullback low and just miss going out with a price probe to the upside. We finished, ladies and gentlemen, with an outside day up. The triple Qs are even more interesting, but let's start with the Russell. So the Russell opens higher value, in balance. Remember, they had two sets of single prints. They had the price probe and rip higher, only to give it all back in C and then D give back everything from Friday. But they come all the way back, never take out Friday's low, and 10 wide, pretty much a B shape for long liquidation. Look at the triple Qs. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. Gap to an all-time high, get that magical 330 level because the algos have to search. Look what they did in C and D. And we go from a chance for an outside day down to an outside day up, yet they held the trend day down. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So we have a double distribution day in the triple Qs. They hit an all-time high to go in step with the composite, but actually still have a trend day down with an outside day up. Amazing. Unchanged value. We end with unchanged value. We started with value that was overlapping to higher, to lower on the SPY, to unchanged on the SPY. So, here's my day. I had a good day, and I missed this move. I actually took a short in A period, which worked very nicely, as I shorted against the overnight high. I traded today's expiration, 385 puts, and it turned out to be a nice play. Then in B period, I took a long, thinking we could possibly have single prints, but also the fact that as long as we were holding, we looked like we had a lowest accepted price again. So we came in. I didn't buy them at the high. We came in, and I took a nice long and on the 384 calls and did well on that. Now, I missed C's short. I came back when D was in play. I was like, I wouldn't be looking for a long here. We're below here. We have a size set of single prints in C. I actually took a short in D period when we got above C but not above D's highs, thinking that we're going to defend Friday's low, and that one worked out. It was a 383 put. Once E took out D's high, I told the room I'm done with that short play because the odds are going to increase. We're going to eat away at these single prints. And that's exactly what they did. The next trade I took, and the last trade of the day, was in H period, but it lasted 3 time frames. We got above the opening, but we couldn't really hold it. I started doing the 385 puts again. I took a 20 lot initially. I added on in H, I, and J probably 4 or 5 times. I'm like, if we go and take out the day's high, not the day's high, I'm sorry, I's high, and get the POC up to here, I'm out. Well, it never happened. And it turned out to be a good trade. I kept scalping it back and forth, back and forth. And then I had small left in K period. So the trade paid me pretty handsomely over an hour and a half. And then K period I had small left because I'd add, and once it took out J's high, I got out. Now that would have still worked because we never got back above the opening again. And then they finally got the flush I was looking for in L. But that's okay. Now I was looking to take a long in L if they had gotten closer to Friday's low to see if we defend that. It never did. Never got involved, and that was it. So it was a good day. I absolutely probably missed a huge trade if I was here in C period when they started flushing pretty good, especially below Friday's low. But again, my family's more important. I wanted to see my granddaughter off. I have no problem missing it. Okay, destinations for tomorrow. Our destinations, my friends, are far and wide apart. There's only 3 to the upside. That's today's high of 384.77, the all-time high of 384.95, and the overnight all-time high of 385.30. Now, if you think those are far and wide, look at our downside. We're only 8 wide. I'm not going to dismiss it tomorrow, but I'm not writing it down. My downside is L's low, which I'm using as an afternoon pullback of 382.43, and then we don't have anything to today's low of 378.46. And then below that, we have last week's low of 376.75. So we have a lot of room to run wild over these next couple of days before the Fed speaks. We had an outside day up, though, which to me is, wait, let me make sure we did. I know we did in the, oh, yeah, we did. 384.54 is the close. Friday's high was 384.09. So we have an outside day up, where we took out, well, we took out the day's high, took out the day's low, took out Friday's high again. That's pretty bullish to me. And we have a very nice buy tail. Now, let's go to the charts. Monthly. Nothing changed in the monthly today with that flush. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We did not get back inside last month's range. Right? What's today's low? No, we didn't even come close to it. Last month's high was 374.66. So the monthly incredibly healthy, even with that flush. Weekly, never took out. Yes, we did get back. We were inside last week's range, and we got back inside a couple of the other weekly ranges, but we closed outside of it. Never took out last week's high. Pretty healthy. And then the daily, all we did was stretch the balance. Right, we had a tight 3-day balance. Well, now we made it a bigger one. It is $385, $379, $6.50. It was a tight balance. But more importantly, it's an outside day up. Now we'll see what they can do with it tomorrow. Remember I told you this morning, if we took out Friday's low, we were going to go test the bottom of the balance and possibly the gap. Well, boy, did we do that. We did it in one time frame and got rejected. So now, so what did we do? First, we tested the top of the 3-day balance, failed. Then we stretched the bottom of the 3-day balance, failed. And now we closed towards the top of the 3-day balance, which is now a 4-day balance and an outside day up. So it's going to be interesting again tomorrow to see what we do in this 4-day balance. Question is, are they going to want to do a lot prior to the Fed speaking on Wednesday? Maybe we'll just trade inside and consolidate inside today's range. Remains to be seen. But we did have an outside day up, which adds more fuel to the bull's fire. Remember, 4 days left before the prices go up in CamelbackTrading.org's voice channel room. We kept the room calm, we kept it cool, and we had a good day. Have a great night. I hope you had a good day trading, and we'll speak prior to the opening